really never talked about what has happened to me or my family. And Sandy asked me to come up here because even though it was really, really scary, my belief in God protected us. I truly believe that. My first experience, I guess, happened about 13 years ago. And I'm a single mother with 2 children. At the time, my daughter was 4 and my son was 2. And I went to bed one night, it's about 11 o'clock, and the kids were asleep. And all of a sudden I had this unbelievable negative feeling that there was a negative presence that actually, it overwhelmed me. It scared me so much that I tried to move and I couldn't move. I immediately just started praying to God, please let me move, let me get my body out of this bed. And I did. I forced myself to get up and go across the hall, and I saw my daughter. God, I don't really talk about this a whole lot because it was just very traumatic for me. But there was a light shining down upon her, and all around her were these things, aliens, whatever. Actually, I had never seen one or had the research that everyone else has done. These were things in my daughter's room, and they were evil. And when I touched one of them, they left. Next thing I remember is in my bed, and I jumped out of bed and I ran to check my children, and they were fine. The next day, I called Sandy because this is on a different level. It's not something that I could come up to and say, you're not coming in my house anymore. The only way that you can fight these people is through your relationship with God, with Jesus, which whomever you believe in, praying and being solid in your belief. We also blessed my house. Went around, blessed my house, and for very, very many years, I didn't have any more. They stayed out of my home, they stayed out of our lives. Unfortunately, a couple of months ago, my daughter is now 18. She came to me one morning and said, Mom, I don't want to sleep in my bedroom anymore. And I said, well, what happened? And she said, there's something in there. There was a presence in my room. And that's all she told me to begin with. And I was like, okay. And she's like, Mom, it's evil. And I said, fine, let's get a crucifix, we'll put it in your room, and I have a huge one that has a light on it. And I put a candle in there, and it burned all night long, which was kind of amazing to me because it was a 6-hour candle, and 12 hours later it was still lit. I believe God was watching over her that night. So the next night, she would go to bed, light her candle, everything was fine. Did I believe that she had actually seen something? It didn't matter. She believed it, whether I saw it or not. She is very spiritual. She prayed. She felt good. So a couple of weeks later, she was gone, and I was home alone in my home, and it was about 7 o'clock at night, and I'm on my computer working. And all of a sudden I see this thing walking through my house. And I haven't read your book, Heidi, but what you're saying sounds very much as to what was in our home. I did sit down with my daughter and asked her to really tell me what all happened after I saw this thing in my home. By the way, as soon as I saw it, I began to pray. And they didn't leave. I thought they would, but they didn't. So when I talked to my daughter, she told me that it started with a dream that she had. It was a Friday night. She said she dreamt that she came home to our home. She has her own car, pulled in, came into the house, and she saw something go down the hallway. She was afraid, so she said, in my dream, I went back out in the car. And she said, I didn't want to go in the house anymore. She said she woke up the next morning and thought, boy, that was just a really strange dream. The next night, she had the same dream. This time when she woke up, she saw a shadow figure in her corner of her bedroom. She closed her eyes. She said, Mom, when I opened them up, it had moved closer and it was closer to my bed. This time, I closed my eyes, started praying to God, and reached over and grabbed my cell phone and opened up the cell phone so there was light, and when she opened her eyes again, it was gone. But she said she felt a bubble of light of God protecting her. So, again, after she told me what really had happened and I had seen it, we blessed our home again. We haven't seen anything for about a month now, which is good. I feel them on the outside of my house, but I feel my house is protected right now. So if any of you have any experiences like this, and you're like me, and you're just trying to live your normal life, and this weird stuff comes in every once in a while, I believe that through prayer, God helps and God protects. Thank you.